aspects of one's life as to why we need to have communication skills. What are the practical aspects of the communication skills? One needs to have the thought clarity and thought channelization. However, here there are two factors which are motivational skills. One needs to have the self motivation and the end result of it. We need to have the proper understanding about what is the end goal, what is the aim, and what is the need for this communication skills. And when we talk about communication skills, it is wider and most vivid aspect. Today, if we really see, most of the students or individuals or adults or children fall short of this communication skills aspect. In most of the companies say we need to have extraordinary communication skills. What really that extraordinary communication skills are all about? When I talk about extraordinary communication skills, it is nothing but the real meaning of extraordinary communication skills are, first thing one needs to understand is thought clarity and thought channelization, and what is a basic aim and goal behind doing that work. Let's say a person is doing a job, his or her job is very important, and one needs to have the clarity of what is the end result of it. Let's say hypothetically we may or may not achieve it. Yet again, if we try to really work towards it and try to channelize the thought, put across that thought, maybe yes, you may achieve, you may not achieve. Though thoughts vary from one person to another person, one needs to have the diversified thinking. This channelization or thought clarity comes to one's mind if and only if he or she is having proper understanding of the subject he or she is speaking. It could be philosophy, it could be psychology, it could be subjective, it could be any subject as such. If we take Mahabharata, Sri Krishna and Yudhishthira are considered to be the embodiments of the extraordinary communication skills. Sri Krishna was very clear with his thought process. Reason being, he had a very clear thought. He wanted to stipulate himself, he wanted to stop himself to certain extent where he could try to adjust himself. This is what is called channelization or stabilization of the thought process. The thought process could vary. At the same time, one needs to understand these thoughts needs to be guileless. When I say guileless, it has to have more or less, it's like helping others, helping understand yourself as well as the people who approach you. When someone comes to you and asks for some sort of help, it is for you to actually make sure, yes, I am giving you this kind of knowledge, you can go ahead. And this is the perfect way of presenting your subjective or objective or whatever it is. However, here is where most of us really do falter. When I say faltering, The faltering process normally happens due to one reason, that we don't have the clarity in the thought process. Most of us fail in this. Yudhishthir, if you take, he had a clear goal set, he had a clear mindset as such, and he never relied on anybody's motivational aspect or someone asking, he going to that person, please give me the tips how to motivate myself. Most of us need to have that self motivation and self reliance aspect. Most of us need to have that aspect. This is very important for a student who is having a flair towards understanding the subject. Communication. Communication does not mean written or verbal skills. The written or verbal skills come to you, or you become proficient in written or communication skills if and only if you have the thought process channelized, or your thought process being in a right path. When I say right path, the thoughts do vary from one person to another person. Most of us need to understand one thing: the thought process is all about self motivational aspects, and the way you channelize, and the way you think, the way you take the momentary aspects at that moment of time. Let's say I am going for an interview. Let me share my experience with you. Even before I started recording live, my recordings on soft skills or whatsoever, when I started writing articles initially, there was no one to tell me that this is the way you need to write, this is the way you need to express your thoughts, this is the way you need to think. The point over here is one needs to have that self motivation. It has been 6 years for me to write an article or write articles. I still remember when I started writing articles, there I faltered in first 10 articles. I was disheartened. I was like dumbstruck. I really did not know what to do, how to do, where to do, where do I get this concept at first place. This concept is really tough for me. I was in a state where I could not really understand what to do. I was in a state where I could not really understand how to channelize or how to write these thoughts, how to put across these thoughts. However, I had to do a lot of exercises for this. The first thing which I did was motivating myself first, trying to understand what really was the meaning of motivation. Motivation here does not mean you hear to all the motivational speakers or trying to understand their gist of thing or whatsoever, but you need to understand on what basis the speaker is speaking. And most importantly, one needs to understand about the importance of thoughts. The thoughts are the key for very good communication and extraordinary communication. If Sri Krishna or Yudhishthira is considered to be are considered to be the major poles in Mahabharata, they are like, you just cannot think about it. There is no second thought about it. The first thought, one that comes, Sri Krishna is a very good communicator, and Yudhishthira is very clear with his thought process. At the same time, even Vidura was very clear with his thoughts as such. At the same time, they had the mindset, very clear, not harming others, not thinking about what exactly, if they are giving any kind of message to the people. So here the message itself is what is the key for everything. Now, in summary, in brief summary, if I summarize this call or this recording, key for communication is one needs to have the clear thought process, clarity of mind. And clarity of mind comes only through proper understanding of subject, subjective knowledge, and widespread thinking, vivid thought process. If vivid thought process is not there, that's when the communication skills go down. And most of the students today, be it from 7th class or 10th class or right from 5th class, if we see, most of us really fall short of. If we take into consideration, let us take an example. A small child, a toddler, who is between the age of one year to 4 years. Okay. He is adamant with his thought process. He is very clear. He wants a chocolate. Dad, I want this chocolate at any cost. Are you giving me or not? If he is not, if dad or mom doesn't give, if the parents do not give, they make lot of hue and cry. Here they are adamant and they are very clear. They want that only. And this is also one very key aspect for very good communication skills. You need to be adamant. You need to understand, yes, I need this. Why do I need this? Because I like it and I need to taste it. At the same time, I'm not taking asking you anything that is against the nature. And this is also one very important point in communication skills. One needs to be legitimate with his thought process. Legitimate thought process is the key for extraordinary communication skills. When you are presenting a paper, if you are presenting a paper that harms a society, do you really think society will take? No, they are not going to take. Let's say I am speaking about communication and motivational aspects for the students and individuals, and the one who is going for job. If I say wrong things, will you people accept it? No, you will not at all. At first place, I need to be very clear with my thought process. I need to understand that what are the needs and where are the pitfalls, and that's when you guys will be taking my inputs. At first place, you need to understand this. Today, if I am speaking about communication skills or motivational skills, if you are taking it, you need to have that proper understanding of communication skills. To summarize, in brief, communication skills needs thought clarity, thought channelization, thought prioritization, and most importantly, self motivation. And one needs to understand the nature and characters of Vidura, Yudhishthira, and Sri Krishna as to why they are considered, and what really is that one thing that differentiates with the other characters in Mahabharata. This is what I can say, or I can talk about Mahabharata in cross reference to communication and self motivation skills. If you see Sri Krishna, if Sri Krishna could deliver a speech on how to talk or how to fight the battle, if only Arjuna had what you call did not have confidence in Sri Krishna, he would not have asked him. Arjuna did not have confidence to fight the battle at first place when he went. He was petrified. He was like, I cannot do this battle. I have these people I am fearing. There was some sort of fear in his mind. So here he was lacking with the motivational skills. Forget about the karma aspect, forget about whatever that philosophy or the sociology or whatever aspects that Sri Krishna is talking about over here. But think from the communication and the motivational aspect. Most important of all, what Sri Krishna imparted to Arjuna was the motivational aspect, self motivational aspect to take things as they come on. And this needs to be imbibed by everyone. At the same time, he had made it very clear when you are communicating, whether it is right or wrong, whatever it is, are you sure what exactly you are doing? Are you correct? If you are correct, why you are correct or why you are wrong? When it comes to wrong part, what happens is normally we think wrong means, you know, uh, something like this is what I am trying to harm someone or etc etc. But let's understand right and wrong concept as well. This is one very important aspect when it comes to communication skills and motivational skills as well. When we talk about right and wrong, right is what you call in this world, we understand nothing is right, nothing is wrong. Yet again, everything is right. Though this statement is very cryptic, we really need to understand one point over here. Right here means the message that you are conveying. On the other side, when we see in the Kauravas, when Arjuna was petrified, he, he was like, I cannot kill anyone. I do not want to kill them. They are what they were the one who trained me. I've been born and brought up from their clan. At the same time, if I am killing them, I am doing wrong. That's what was the impression that he had. But Sri Krishna made it very clear. Here, remember one thing, they are also wrong from their end, they are also right. At the same time, they need to face the consequences of whatever that they are going on. Again, over here, an individual needs to understand that we have to have that kind of thought process where you have the strong bent mind to understand that you are doing your job. That's all. Nothing more than that. Whatever other person is telling, it's the nature. When it comes to the individual aspect, the same thing. An individual is Arjuna, and the nature is your Sri Krishna over here. Nature is telling you, you do this job. I am telling you, do this job. That's all. Do it to your best possible extent, whatever it is. And at the same time, when it comes to reality, this is where it transforms to communication and motivational skills. Thank you very much. Have a nice day ahead. May the Guru's grace be with you. Stay blessed. Have a blissful life all along. Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha.